Hello and welcome to my channel. I've been kind of non-productive lately. Haven't been making videos, haven't been doing much customizing. So I thought it might be a bit of a filler to show off some of my recent purchases. What the heck, I know you're all dying to know just what does Todd spend his money on, besides the cars I've already shown that I've bought and customized. But first, a shout out to Mike Espo. I've done 3 opening videos of the items he sent me and have always managed to skip all the signs that he ran off for me, and the corrugated cardboard walls fence he made for my junkyard. So he is providing the backdrop today. I decided to metalize the fence and the shed that he sent me, and used graphite, brushed it on graphite paint, and then put some satin black dry brushed over it for some weathering, and did a little bit of weathering on the skid steer. Not much. I don't want to get too excited. You know, take it slow. Don't want to get carried away right away. What's on there looks really good already. So, I have his shed playing the part of one of my favorite movies, TV movies. And that is one of my purchases. See if I can find it in here. Oh, here it is. The Lavender 41 Willys gasser. I remember, I think it was the mid-80s when tinted primers became very popular, and you saw cars showing up in primer colors that weren't like what you would normally see, and they'd be like light blue and green and everything. But then as soon as the lavender one showed up, that was about all you saw after that. And I also like the Comet this time around. Great casting anyways, and wonderful decos this time around. First time I saw it, the pegs were full, so I only got 2, because as much as I liked it, wasn't really much more I wanted to do to it besides detail it. And I didn't need a whole fleet of those. So then after I decided later that, gee, I'd like to pick up a couple more, I went back and looked, and somebody had already got all of them. Oh, and what more have we got? As you've all probably suspected, I pick up the 59 Impalas whenever I can. I left a few. I didn't empty the pegs. But, you know, if I see a dozen of them, I'll pick up 2 or 3. I've got these over time, different places. Love me the 59 Impala. So I think I'm stocked up on those. You know how it is. When they're there, you gotta get them, because they won't be there for long. And some of my most recent purchases. I see these cars come out on other people's videos, and my stores are a month or 2 behind their videos, and sometimes I forget. By the time it actually reaches me, but I really like the deco on this. I think it's a copy of the first edition of it, and it is like very 70s, 80s interpretation of 50s neon, plus red with flames. Can't help myself about the flames. Got a bouncing bass. Like my lowriders. Like my trucks. Like my mini trucks. Like my lowrider mini trucks. And not too many pickup trucks can wear fender skirts and look right doing it. But the La Trucka can do it. Late 40s, early 50s Chevy lowrider trucks look fine with fender skirts. And I admired a couple of Ferraris, like the red, white, and blue on this one. Can't help myself about red, white, and blue. That and the ones with the Hot Wheels logos. And then I admired a little Dino. Had to have that. These are starting to pile up back here. Got the custom auto, not the treasure hunt, but I might soup it up a little, make it look more like a treasure hunt. Latest edition of the classic 55 Nomad. Yep, knocked the camera over. Kind of figured I would do that before it was all over with. And a lone Matchbox that time with the Tootsie Toy graphics. I remember the commercials with Mr. Owl and how many licks it takes to get to the Tootsie Roll center of a Tootsie Pop. So I like to see them bring that back. And my most recent purchases, El Segundo Clip Coupe. I think I mentioned earlier about how much I like the logo cars. I like the El Segundo Coupe. Another red, white, and blue tuned version. Happy to add that one to my collection. And then look at this, Pass and Go. I knew that they were going to have a hard time topping the first intro that they had of that with the metal base and the Zamic finish. This one's plastic base and white. The thing about this is that it is the perfect little midget racer, late 40s, mid 50s. So these are wide open for customizing. Got one of these Jaguars. I don't even know. I didn't even really like this style. Too new. To me, Jaguars D-Type or XKE. I don't want to see these 70s Jaguars, but this one in British Racing Green. was good enough that I had to have it. Impulse buy, what can I say? And then I'm not familiar with this one before I saw it and had to have it. Mountain Mauler. Perfect little mud runner. I'm sure I'll be able to do something with that. And then ending off with a Matchbox. Porsche 914, kind of an underappreciated Porsche. And while we're on the subject of Porsches, I've got a couple of open ones. Nice little 356. I guess I don't know the difference between that and the 911, but I like it. Very pretty metal flake blue. And then another Porsche. Knocked the camera over again. Ha. Oh, come on. Back to another Porsche. Yeah, another one of the premiums that I had to spend my money on. And I'm sure the real car had an illustrious racing career with some big name European driver that won multiple races and championships. But me being American, the important thing to me is that that was the number of car that Steve McQueen drove in his movie Le Mans. Steve McQueen, yeah, baby. That's why I had to have that one. That's why it had to be broke out. So, I think that's the end of it. Now to get all this gathered up and shoveled back in the shopping sacks before I get rained on.